Alright, this is going to be such a good landing. Watch this. The controls are a bit sensitive, but it's so easy for a pilot like me. The angle is perfect, right? It's like I've been doing this all my life. There's a lot of wind, by the way. Almost. Flare. Oh my god, what's happening? I'm too slow, oh my god, no! Okay, I cannot start a video like this, let's try again. Of course, much better weather with almost no wind, and now everything is going to be just fine. Watch!
40, 30, 20, 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board to our flight.
Okay, still a bit rough, but I'll take it and let's start the video. Hello simmers, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are going to have a close look at the cheapest airliner on Xbox, the EMB 190 and 195 series by Virtual Coil. As usual, the video is divided into chapters that go from the exterior of the aircraft to the cockpit, the avionics, the sounds and animation, the flight model, and finally my conclusion that tries to answer the most important questions. Is it fun to fly and does it worth your money? As you can see here, it's written in capital letter. This is not a study level product. The first time I looked at the airplane in the game, I was quite nicely surprised. I was expecting something far worse. The textures, as you can see here, are decent, and so is the model. We can see that the number of polygons is quite low around the engines, which makes them look like squares up close. But as soon as you move away, the result is, let's say, satisfying. Lights are working well here, from the landing lights to the beacon lights. Everything is working as intended. If you go into the cockpit, that's where things go from bad to worse. With, let's face it, one of the ugliest cockpits I've ever seen. But I'm not counting MS Scenery, which is downright crap. It had to be said one day, and this day is today. So yes, the cockpit is far from the best, but we need to remember the price, and maybe that for the price we can forgive a bit more easily. Well, okay, let's avoid talking about some freeware on PC which are 10 times better, but we are on Xbox and unfortunately we can do nothing about it. There's a tablet, very limited, but there is a tablet. 4 functional screens, the MCDU from the default A320, and that's pretty much it. Basic systems are working-ish. There is no animations outside of the levers and knob. Nothing is moving in the cockpit. The plane does feature a cabin, as you can see here. Very basic, but at least the frame is correct and doesn't give the weird layers we have seen recently with the LVFR A330. The avionics are working, and I have to say that Virtual Coil hasn't just copied the default A320 and is offering customized screens, which is a pleasant surprise. There are touchscreens, but I have to say that the optimization and display of options on the screen is not the greatest. The weather radar is obviously not working. The autopilot is working, but in a strange way, let's say. I would advise you to avoid being away when you turn it on, and instead, like any self-respecting captain, always check what's happening in your cockpit. So yeah, Netflix will wait. It does catch ILS and glide slope. I've tested 2 times with some weird decision made by the plane, but you always land on the selected runway. The good thing for beginners is that you can do all your flight plan with the world map, And I quite like it also. There is no shame in that when you have a limited amount of time to play, or if you don't know how to enter everything, all the settings in the MCDU. Here the sim and the plane will do everything for you. One of the aircraft's pleasant surprise comes from its sounds, and with specific engine sounds for the landing gear also. We have also cabin announcements that can be selected in several languages from the tablet, and cockpit announcements. Sometimes the announcements get a bit mixed up between landing and takeoff, but the rendering is convincing, where very few other aircraft on Xbox offer this kind of detail. So it's a good point for a virtual call.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board to our flight. We would like to draw your attention to the safety information you need to follow during this flight. Please
3 hours later.
The flight model is, I would say, correct, quite sensitive on the controls as you saw in the introduction, but the aircraft is pleasant to fly and I can't really fault it on this point. At least in the time I spent with it, which was shorter than my other reviews, I confess, around 4 to 5 hours of flight. You can see that the wind flex is there, which is always a nice touch. So in conclusion, is it worth $10 on Xbox? Well, it's a pleasant surprise in that I was expecting something really awful. And I realized that we haven't talked about the performance on Xbox, and luckily it's good. Fortunately, I would say, given that the systems aren't very advanced. I had black screens for 1 minute when taking off from Las Vegas with the Flight Tempa add-on, but apart from that, there were no other problems to report. This aircraft has been updated many times, and if when it came out it really couldn't be recommended, now things have moved on a bit. So if you are really fed up with the default A320 or the A310 and other airliners are too expensive for you, or you don't want any other Airbuses offered by LVFR for example, and you are looking for something different, then yes, for only $10, why not give it a try? But be careful, you know what to expect from it. And that's it for today. Have fun, see you soon on the channel, bye.